Here we are once again, born to be kings, wizard kings that is. It's Splattercat, and once again we're playing Let's Play Warlock, Master of the Arcane. And so where we had left off, we were finishing off our assault against Rajak, and so hopefully we can put another nail in that coffin here today. Now I'm willing to bet he's got another town up here, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. There are a lot of ogres up here though, so God, why are there so many ogres up here? This is ridiculous. There is a considerable summation of just ridiculous amounts of ogres up here, and so we need to handle that issue. We need to get them all taken care of, and so we're just going to bombard the hell out of them, I guess, and see if we can get rid of this one at least in this turn, and down he goes. Now, I do regret somewhat. I sort of regret ending with them getting the kill, because that is a little bit of a waste there. But let's get the dwarves up here. We want the dwarves to take the lead on this next assault, hopefully. Actually, let's get our zombies tried and true. There we go. We'll get our tried and true zombies, our faithful zombies. These zombies do not err. They are not traitorous zombies. Those are the kind of zombies that we would never want to attract to our cause, because we are a people with a cause. We are driven. When we cannot run, we walk. When we cannot walk, we crawl. But irregardless of the method by which we arrive, we go together, and that's what we demand from our zombies, solidarity. And so, now that we have all that taken care of, let's see here. I say that as my other group of zombies falls behind. Come on, zombies, keep with the lead. That's right. Walk forward. One foot in front of the other. Well, one nub in front of the other. One stump in front of the other. Don't tell me which stump. I don't really want to know. There could be any number of stumps on our zombies, and I really don't need the specificity of stumpage. So now that we've done this, we've got our movement taking place. Let's look around. We've got some bombardment we can do. And it looks like that bombardment is going from here maybe to Dreadspell. That would actually be pretty sweet if we could get a couple hits off every turn. Just kind of keep that health going downwards on Dreadspell. We finished our moonwalk, so we're getting our hee-hee on here, our Michael Jackson-esque movement. There we go. So he's got a little bit of extra movement points, hopefully, maybe? Well, almost. In any case, he's going to be going all the way out to here because we've got a halberd hall, which is going to allow us to recruit halberdiers, if I recall correctly, which are a unit that I would very much like to have as we go forward. We've got a couple bombardments ready, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I think we should be able to do some type of damage to these elementals as we go along. Who would have known that large elementally bits would be terrified of wolves, but it is what it is, so down he goes maybe. Dead yet? No. He had 2 HP. I was hoping that he had 1. And so he's got 1 HP left. Those archers are going to kill him off. I don't really know where these are coming from. There may be some spawning point over here. Sometimes there's big portals that lead to like an elemental realm. I haven't actually covered those yet, so you guys probably haven't seen those, but there are portals that take you to other dimensions that you can conquer, and if you get through them, there's like treasures and things. It's pretty rare that I actually go in and clear one out because they're not like a mainstay of the actual gameplay. It's just like one of those things that occasionally you come across and you're like too lazy. You're like, maybe I'll do it later. I'm going to give him City Fighter since he's going to be guarding this city. We've got a couple level ups to go. This group right here has been leveled, which I very much like, so we're going to give him Sniper. There we go. Unfortunately, that's not going to give him a Gall or anything of that nature. It's just going to make him a little bit more potent at what it is we need him to do. And I am going to pile on the City Fighter with all of these units. And another shot from our archers, which actually they are still leveling. Last episode I aired. I made a mistake and I said that perhaps they were not leveling at the speed we might like, but they are. They're still leveling. So this one leveled up as well, which is pretty cool. What are his resistances looking like? His resistances are non-existent. Now, we do have the opportunity to level up his attack, which I actually think might be a better option. That's going to leave him with a 16, so that's actually pretty nice. That's a lot of damage that we could be giving him. What else can he have? Masterwork armor? Sure, throw it on there. It's cheap enough. That 25 right there, that 25 is going to give us a 30% damage resistance. So as you can tell, the actual diminishing returns on that are just incredible. They're enormous, so let's see what he's at. Oh, well, there's not really going to be much that's going to help. The Nevril, though, yeah. Let's give him the Nevril armor because I think that's actually going to give him 100 magic resistance. So he's actually a mainstay of our assault right now. We're going to do a quick run through of everybody else. Ooh, we have another group of zombies. And I gave a little ooh, a boyish ooh for that one. So I'm going to stick with them. These warriors right here are going to be the vanguard that's going to stay back and hold that position. This group right here is going to be doing the same thing, and I'm probably just going to be spamming a whole bunch of F keys right here, but who knows. Lichten, okay. Well, we're going to make Lichten our bitchtons in the next turn or two, not to be too ambiguous with our profanity there. This group of zombies, oh, that's clerics, never mind. They are the opposite. They are the anti-zombies, and so we're going to keep just flooding units in, I think. We could presumably put a little pressure on Dreadspell, but honestly, I think it's going to take a pretty consolidated, it's going to take a pretty forceful push for Dreadspell to actually go down. I think I'll bring these veterans out here, though, and help them get some experience. This is a combat that I want them to be involved in because they haven't gotten much done in the way of leveling up, so every level up you can get in this game is incredibly useful. If your units aren't leveling, then they really aren't being that useful to you. And honestly, I think that even advanced like tier 2, tier 3 units are not that useful until they get to level 3 or 4. Once they've got a few upgrades in, once you've upgraded their armor, things of that nature. They've got a lot of upgrades left to go. Silver weaponry, that's interesting. You can add some spirit damage and some life damage. That's actually a pretty considerable damage upgrade, so I'm going to go with that. That's 6 extra damage that he wouldn't have had before, and that's just fine, as Bob Ross would say. So they also, let's see, Nicholas Frost and Rajak have also made peace, so it's me going it alone against my 2 enemies. We failed some quests. It looks like we didn't build a temple to Crypta, which I absolutely forgot about, so that's on me. We'll end the turn here and we'll see what happens. It's probably going to be more of the same. Just a little bit of bombardment, just a peppering of death magic. Not necessarily a fistful, not necessarily a pinch, but just a peppering, a light frosting of death magic, which is the way that I prefer to take all of my beatings, in a light frost. Because who doesn't like frosting? And that dude is just a bamf. He's just holding it out right there. He reminds me of Mighty Biff from back when we did our Nemoria play, where he's just soaking all kinds of ridiculous damage. And he's researched a new spell, so we're going to go ahead and get that ready to go. Let's look at our blessings and our buffs here, which it was already on the right page. And I'm going to actually put that on him. And so there we go. So he should actually see a fairly consistent, yeah, he went from 26 up to 29 damage, looks like. And that's actually going to help us do a bit more damage to these ogres. I'm also going to bring the Galliuses up. Or the Gallii. I still don't know how to pluralize that. I don't even know if it can be pluralized. But we're going to fight our way through. God, there are just so many natural enemies that we're being forced to face in this next little bit. It's a little bit of a setback. I mean, I wasn't planning on fighting this many natural enemies. Looks like terrain is going to be our natural competitor here with our zombies, who I would like them to be able to close ranks with the city. But unfortunately, this terrain is very rough right here, so it's going to give us the terrain to build or to bash. That seems to be the general life story of most tyrants and kings, to build or to bash. That could actually act as the heading for the, let's see here, the biographies of just about any king. And so we will leave them in Bel Air, I think, and just holding ranks and bringing them all up to here. I think that's actually going to be just about all that we're going to do this turn. Now, he is a little susceptible to damage, so I'm a little bit worried about what the ogres are going to be able to do against him. But nonetheless, I like our plan. We're just kind of swooping around like you would with a knife in soft peanut butter. And then we're going to come back for that juicy center in just a minute. And honestly, I'm just going to keep shooting at him because it's hilarious. And I'm just annoying him with the same kind of damage that he used to annoy me with. So 500 HP on that city. That is going to be quite a siege when we get around to it. I actually have no idea how we're going to soften that place up for invasion. I haven't been really thinking about it. I think we're just going to need a lot of catapults and things of that nature, unfortunately. So I think I feel a sneeze brewing, and I don't think I've ever sneezed on camera, to be honest, or on film. Let's see. Prosperity, water walking, Blessing of fertility. God, all of these suck. I don't want any of these spells. All of these spells are just things that I have no care for because they don't cause mass destruction. Let's go ahead and make another tower along the borders there because I feel like we've more or less got all the things. I would like our mana to be a little bit higher, but with all the Gallii and things of that nature that we have, that's, you know, it's not something that I could hope for optimally. I also think that another tower maybe, perhaps within the range of Dreadspell. No, that's not going to work. Let's just go with a mana farm. I know we've probably got something around here that'll get better mileage out of mana farms maybe. No? Well, that's surprising, but we'll take what we get there. And I forgot we took D-Gate, and I'm going to rename D-Gate blasphemously. We're going to call it, oh, I don't know, Mortavia. There we go. There we go. That's a name that I like. It's from Quest for Glory 4, which was actually one of the games that I cut my teeth on with PC gaming when I was a child. So that's actually a good name, I think, for it. And we'll put one of those in, and the next time it grows, we'll put in a Mana Vault, I think. Or we may get a Borders expansion next time, in which case we'll put in a Minotaur Cave, because those are pretty useful. And down here in Thalos, we have the opportunity to do a Wizards Guild, and hell yeah, we want to get some Wizards on the board. Let's definitely consider getting some Wizards on the board so we can continue forward. Let's get our bombardment out of the way, and goodbye, tower. And this one actually has a little bit of fire left in it. It's got a little bit of gumption left in it, as they would say in the south. And so this group of wolves is going to get an attack off there. This group of warriors is probably going to use up most of their... Oh, they still have a movement point, so that's going to work out in our favor. That group of veterans is going to do a little bit of damage. We'll move them forward, get a shot off, and damn, we just cannot seal the deal there. We just cannot reach home plate. We're barely rounding third, which, you know, it'd be alright if it was our first date with that elemental, but alas, we'd be doing pretty good, but... Unfortunately, we just can't seal the deal. We just can't finish it off. And so I guess we'll just leave it where it is for now. We'll have them rest just so we don't have random units standing around. And let's keep pushing forward for that halberd hall there. This unit right here, I'm going to keep getting their free XP. And let's end this turn to make sure we get enough done here. And it's still resisting me, but I'm not going to allow it to divert. So our zombies are officially taking a little bit of fire there. Looks like our dwarves are going to take a little bit of damage too, but they're going to get a level out of it. Once again, peppered, peppered, peppered. Unfortunately, this is going to end up like most of my breakfast eggs, over-peppered. We may have to pull somebody back in the end. Oh, and he's actually holding out right there. I didn't expect him to do that much damage. It's got to be partially due to that flaming sword. And they are just focused on that tower. That elemental just doesn't know what to do with this tower. I'm going to come down here and make sure we get rid of him. I don't want to give the tower the finish. I don't want them to have the finishing touch. I'll let the veterans have it here. Let's draw them back. We've got a little bit of damage we can deal there. What is their resistance looking like? So let's put a fireball on him. And so not a firestorm. That might be a bit of overkill, but let's scroll this up. And I've been using fireballs pretty promiscuously during this Let's Play. There's a little bit more damage. Just a little bit of something. Just a little tappity tap. Get them started. And hopefully that's going to leave me with a little bit of damage left over. Ooh, there's a greater fire elemental right there. I don't know if I want to tempt fate to that extent. So we may take some actual battering from him, but we'll see what happens. Not the good kind of battering that goes into your pancakes. I love pancakes, by the way. But I like waffles better. I think I'm on the side of waffles. If there was ever a war between waffles and pancake fans, I think waffles would win because they're trellised. I think they support blows better. They act like dragon skin armor, body armor. And so there is no scientific basis for that, by the way. That was just me talking out of my ass like always, just straight out of the ass. And so we've got that right there. I think it's regenerating all the damage I'm dealing every turn, but it's fun to just be a nuisance and a pain in the ass, so we'll just continue bombarding. We're going to get the dwarves in there, and that damage is just so considerable that they deal. Get the zombies in here for a little touch of damage too. That was not nearly the amount of damage that I was hoping for, but it was something. We'll get all of these nice little ranged units in here, leaving a nice spacing, I think, for the bombardment to come. And that was actually really nice right there. I liked that attack. We'll pull our Rat Prince back. We'll just give him a little bit of space so he can recover a tad. We'll bring the Gallius forward, and there's a Leviathan right there. We'll actually put a round on him. Ooh, he one-shot him. Very nice, Gallius. I appreciate that. Your contribution to the overall war effort is very much appreciated. And so now we'll pull the Ogre up and in here to finish the job, perhaps. We already used our free spellcast for the turn, unfortunately, but we'll see what we can do there. I wish you could walk underneath flying units. That's the one thing that's been bothering me as of lately, is that I would very much like to walk underneath some of these units, but what can you do? So we've got a little bit of... Ooh, let's give him regeneration. That seems like a nice upgrade. These guys have leveled up too. We'll give them a resistance to... I think they have a lacking... Let's see here. Yeah, they don't even have any resistance to elemental magic, so we'll put a little bit in right there, so it'll take a little bit less. This group of warriors can pass the turn likely, or in a less than lively manner, I guess. I used the wrong word there. It happens sometimes. I have a slip of the tongue. There we are. And what can we have left? Oh, it actually decided to make a little swoopity-doo around the back. That's what I call it when things go. It's kind of like shizawi. It's one of my patented terms, a swoopy-doo. Any type I do, I like a little circular, or you go a direction that it's not supposed to go. It's a swoopy-doo, or a swoop-a-loop. That's what I call the on-ramps on the freeway, those little circular on-ramps, swoop-a-loops. It's not an on-ramp. You take the swoop-a-loop at the 5. 3 miles into the 3 miles into the turnpike, there's a Shwoopaloop. Just follow that. It'll be fine. And so let's pass our turn here, and let's hope for the best. So the Galleus is going to take the brunt of the combat, it looks like there. If the zombies get killed, they're not really doing much for me, so I don't really mind. Dwarves are going to take a little bit of bombardment from his towers, which is unfortunate. But I don't think it's actually going to be enough to slow the advance. We do still have some random units up in our territory. All up in yeah, to quote DMX from long, long ago. God, my references are getting older and older as I mature. See, I mature like a wine. I prefer to keep it like that. And it looks like spell research is done, but I prefer to mature like a wine, but unfortunately my humor doesn't. My humor just seems to go sour like vinegar. So what can you do? You can cry about it or you can keep on trucking, and I choose to keep on trucking. Let's take a shot at that ogre. That did like nothing. That was a very unfortunate exchange of damage. I guess I should have probably just had him come around and take a shot at Lichten, but what can you do? The dwarves are going to level it this turn anyways, and that's going to annihilate all of his defenses. And we are looking mighty fine on this overall offensive. I think we've been doing pretty well the last turn or so. We've been taking a lot of ground, we've been getting a lot of things done, and so I think it's going to put us in a really good spot to swoop through and finish off this game if and when that comes around. So let's get our wolves. Yikes. I think I'm going to actually disband the wolves. I don't see the use of them anymore. I'd like to get that mana back, and I know I'd really like to check out some summoned bears at some point. So Agrella's healing. A lot of these spells I feel like we already had, and that it's just reiterating. Maybe it's lowering the casting time on them or something. I really don't have time to check because we are on a time limit for these episodes. I like to keep on moving, but what can you do? Let's get some more food put in at Boo because I want to make sure we keep lots of money flowing. Nothing better than a good amount of gold in our hands, our sweaty palms, a smoking a pancake. Just a quote. And since we made Lichten our bitchten, there we go. There we go. And so we made Lichten our bitchten. It's officially over. And so I think everybody over here has more or less used up their turns. Maybe I'll bring some zombies in here to bear the brunt of that assault because the zombies have been a little disappointing. I actually thought they were going to do a little bit better, but maybe they're actually like tier 1.5 units, which is fine. I'm not going to stress about it. We're going to give everybody a brief rest right here, so we're going to take a turn out in this next little bit and just get everybody nice and rested, at least anybody that can rest. Let's get construction done in the most vicarious sense. And it looks like this is once again just going to be another town full of mana traps. I think once we get rid of some of our Galii and things, though, we may be able to go back on our word a little bit there, or at least go back on our motive, because honestly, I just can't seem to keep up with mana. I think largely it's due to army upkeep. Yeah, the 23 is from army upkeep, but we got 57 there, so I think just honestly spamming mana traps is the best thing we could be doing for now. So let's put another one in anywhere that it'll get a bonus, to be honest. I don't see anywhere that's going to get a substantial bonus. I wish we could drain the swamps. That would be really nice, but unfortunately it's not an option. It may actually be an option. I don't know. We could probably cast spells or something. This game is called Warlock, after all. I may not just be making use of all of the game mechanics. And so we'll just soften them up a tad more. They are quite robust, though. That is a unit that just seems to resist all attacks. It's nasty. Dreadspell, I'm not looking forward to the invasion of Dreadspell, to be honest. It's going to be one of those things that I just don't see going very well. Let's get a death magic resistance, since they're honestly going to be going up against people, and they may actually get close enough to start helping with the healing up here. So maybe next turn we'll be able to get them right here. I don't know what the range is on their heal. I don't know range 2, so if I can get him to here, I can heal my Galleus with it perhaps. If it'll allow me. It is an undead unit, so that may be too optimistic, unfortunately. Got a group of warriors right here, level 5 warriors. Sure, let's bring them on up. Why not? Got another group of warriors there that are just standing guard, and these guys need to relax. And once again, I apologize for cycling through. I know it's a little boring that I cycle through all my units in this fashion, but every time I don't do it, I feel like I end up wasting my turns not resting people and things of that nature, so it's important to get people healed up. I'm honestly going to disband that group of zombies. I don't think they're going to be that useful for me. They're already so disconnected. I have such a ridiculous mob up here of units that are just wandering around. Who is this? Oh, it's archers. Okay. Well, this is all resistance type stuff. I guess I'll give them silver weaponry. That'll give them a little bit of a bonus. And then we'll go through here. And I don't see anything that I really want to do with them. Nor them. And nor them as well. So it looks like the rest of these units are more or less going to pass their turns uneventfully. And this group of archers right here needs to rest because they are my heavy hitters. So hopefully they'll get taken care of. And I'm going to end this turn. And after we pass this turn, we'll do a synopsis. Oh, and is he dropping fire on me again? That's unfortunate. Okay. And I don't know why he's wasting shadow bolts right there, but it is what it is, I suppose. Little bit of ogre combat over here. How badass would that be to see if you could like pay to see ogres fight each other? Just like, honestly, I would pay for any large creature just to like, well, maybe not. I like animals too much. That might be cruel. I don't want to be like Michael Vick and then everybody's all judgmental and never mind. Not even going to go in that direction. And so the greater fire elemental is over here. Maybe I'll just keep my elder ogre. I should have probably thought about that a little better. But in any case, it's going to give me an opportunity to let everybody rest. And this is a great spot to break off this episode. So now, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for sticking with our Slackjaw Offensive here, or our Slackjaw Offensive Part 2 anyways. And hopefully we'll get Rajak finished off in the next episode or two. That would be absolutely amazing if we could just get Horrorville and Crypt Hall taken care of. Although they are pretty beefy cities, so we'll see what happens. In any case, I'll see you guys next time. And thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle. See you next time, everybody. Take care out there.